President Ramnath Kovind gives away the annual Cleanliness Awards. Indore declared the cleanest city for the 5th time in a row. Surat the second and Vijayawada declared third in the ranking. Heavy rains wreak havoc in southern states. Andhra Pradesh is the worst affected with more than 15 dead. South Central Railway cancelled several trains. Power outages in Andhra Pradesh. Heavy rains failed to dampen spirits of cadets of the Officer Training Academy in Chennai. 153 cadets pass out of the academy, as including 29 female officers. In international news, fresh wave of COVID-19 engulfs Europe. Belgium tightens coronavirus restrictions, mandating wider use of masks and enforcing work from home. Germany declares a national emergency. Austria to go into complete lockdown. Cases in Switzerland at an all-time high. Greece toughens vaccine rules as cases soar. 52nd International Film Festival of India all set to begin in Goa from today. Festival to showcase more than 300 films from across the world. For the first time ever, films from 5 BRICS nations to be showcased through the BRICS Film Festival. Hello and welcome to the news. I'm Amritpal Singh. Those were the headlines and now the news in detail. President Ramnath Kovind today presented the Swachh Sarvekshan Awards 2021. Indore was declared as the cleanest city in the country for the 5th consecutive period this year. The President conferred Surat in Gujarat as the 2nd cleanest city in the country and Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh for being the country's 3rd cleanest city. The President also conferred the Ahmedabad cantonment for being the country's cleanest cantonment. Swachh Sarvekshan is an annual survey of cleanliness, hygiene and sanitation in cities and towns across India. It was launched as part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which aims to make India clean and free of open defecation by the 2nd of October 2019. And speaking on the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind said that this year the country is celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and thus cleanliness should be our topmost priority.
मुझे यह जानकर प्रसन्नता हुई कि 35 राज्य व संघ राज्य क्षेत्र तथा लगभग सभी शहरी क्षेत्र खुले में शौच से मुक्त घोषित किए जा चुके हैं। समुचित व पर्याप्त वेस्ट वाटर के ट्रीटमेंट की व्यवस्था के आधार पर 9 शहरी क्षेत्रों को वाटर प्लस प्रमाणित किया जा चुका है। मैं आशा करता हूं कि इस क्षेत्र में शीघ्र ही उल्लेखनीय प्रगति प्राप्त की जा सकेगी। स्वच्छ भारत अभियान की सबसे बड़ी सफलता है देशवासियों की सोच में बदलाव। आज हम ये देखते हैं कि ये बदलाव बहुत व्यापक स्तर पर हुआ है और धीरे-धीरे परिवारों तक पहुंच गया है।
The President also said that it is everyone's responsibility to maintain cleanliness.
मैं आवास और शहरी कार्य मंत्रालय को सुझाव देना चाहूँगा कि मशीन से सफाई की सुविधा सभी शहरों में उपलब्ध कराई जाए। मैनुअल स्कैवेंजिंग अर्थात मनुष्य द्वारा मैला ढोना एक सर्वनाश प्रथा है जिसको रोकने की जिम्मेदारी केवल सरकार की नहीं है बल्कि पूरे समाज और सभी नागरिकों की भी है। देवी और सज्जनों, सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट यानी ठोस कचरे का प्रबंधन, प्रभावी प्रबंधन शहरों को स्वच्छ रखने के लिए अनिवार्य होता है। मुझे बताया गया है कि 2014 में स्वच्छता अभियान की शुरुआत से पहले केवल 18% ठोस कचरे का निस्तारण वैज्ञानिक रूप से किया जाता था, जो अब लगभग 4 गुना बढ़कर 70% हो गया है।
He added that the clean image of India will boost tourism.
साफ सुथरे देश की छवि बनने से भारत में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पर्यटन को बढ़ावा मिलेगा। हम देखते हैं कि जिन स्थानों में ऐतिहासिक और सांस्कृतिक महत्व तथा आवागमन की सुविधाओं के साथ साथ साफ सफाई रहती है, वहाँ लोग अधिक संख्या में जाना चाहते हैं। स्वच्छता के आधार पर ही स्वस्थ और समृद्ध राष्ट्र का निर्माण संभव है। इसलिए ये अनिवार्य है कि स्वच्छ भारत मिशन अर्बन 2.0 के सभी लक्ष्य समय अनुसार प्राप्त किए जाएं।
Addressing the gathering, the Union Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that record number of toilets have been constructed besides administration of garbage is being done. He added that soon Google mapping of toilets will be done.
Open defecation free with 35 states and 4,371 out of the 4,372 urban local bodies completely ODF. We have gone beyond the mission mandate to create more than 3,300 ODF plus cities with hygienic community and public toilets and nearly 1,000 cities ODF plus with complete fecal sludge management.
Moving on to some other news now, one unidentified terrorist was killed in an encounter with security forces at the Ashmuji area of Kulgam in Jammu and Kashmir. The operation is currently underway. Normal life in Andhra Pradesh has been hit badly and people are locked inside their houses due to heavy downpour in the state from the last 2 days. The state has been witnessing heavy rains in Chittoor, Nellore, Kadapa, Anantapur districts due to depression. The Rayalaseema districts of Chittoor and Kadapa have been witnessing a worst deluge in years as heavy rains caused by the depression in Bay of Bengal. Depression had hit the landfall in the wee hours today, resulting in continuous downpour in parts of Chittoor, Kadapa and Anantapur. According to officials, so far 8 bodies have been recovered. In Tirupati, rains have started again this morning after a brief gap yesterday. Most parts of the city are lacking in power supply as electric poles and transformers have been badly hit. Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy conducted the aerial survey to assess the damage in rain-affected Chittoor, Nellore and Kadapa. Yesterday, the Chief Minister had directed officials to provide ex gratia of rupees 5 lakh each to the families of those who had died and 2,000 rupees per family as immediate assistance. NDRF and SDRF teams have been working on rescue operations in the Rajampet, where there was a breach due to earth buds which resulted in heavy flooding in nearby areas. The exact numbers are yet to be ascertained. And Telangana heaved a sigh of relief as it could avert rains as the low pressure was turned into depression moved far away from the state. Hyderabad Met Office said the depression, which crossed the coast between Chennai and Puducherry yesterday, is moving west and northwesterly and is getting weakened into a severe low pressure. Under its influence, moderate rains coupled with other things are expected in unified Nalgonda, Rangareddy and Mehboob Nagar districts in Telangana, with heavy rains at 1 or 2 places in the next 2 days. Meanwhile, South Central Railway has cancelled several trains as railway track was damaged due to incessant rains in Andhra Pradesh, particularly in south coastal areas. Several trains were also diverted. In Kerala, pilgrimage to the renowned Ayyappa shrine in Sabrimala Hill has seen restrictions this morning due to swollen river conditions and opening of Pampa Dam. Heavy rain was felt in this region for some days. As per the latest order by Pathanamthitta district collector, pilgrims who have already arrived will be taken for darshan in small batches considering the river conditions. Last night, the district authorities had ordered for 1-day suspension of pilgrimage on Saturday, and pilgrims were asked to remain at the Nilakal Ghat for 1 day. Despite adverse weather conditions and the COVID-19 situation, thousands of devotees had arrived in Nilakal to offer prayers at the Ayyappa temple. The annual pilgrimage season had started on the 16th of November for the 2-month-long annual Mandalam Makara Vilakku rituals. In the Idukki district, the Idukki Dam has been opened to maintain upper rule level. People residing on the banks of Periyar River have been advised to remain alert. However, no rain alert has been issued by IMD for Kerala for 2 days. An impressive parade marked the passing out of 153 cadets from the portals of the Indian Army's Officer Training Academy in Chennai this morning. The cadets include 25 cadets from friendly neighbor countries of Afghanistan, Bhutan and Maldives. Rainy weather failed to dampen the spirits of the cadets. The Vice Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General C.P. Mohanty, reviewed the parade. The Sword of Honour for the best all-round performance and gold medal was presented to Cadet Siddhant. Highlighting the increasing opportunities for women in the armed forces, Lieutenant General Mohanty said that they were on the cusp of transformational change both at the organizational and individual level. He urged the cadets to keep honing their skills to face the challenges posed by hegemonic countries in the neighborhood. Addressing Sainik's Samman Yatra in Pithoragarh, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that Pakistan makes all efforts to destabilize peace in India, but we've sent a clear message to them that we will hit back. This is a new and powerful India.
एक पड़ोसी जो वेस्टर्न बॉर्डर यानी जो बहुत पुराना हमारे साथ अनावश्यक जब से भारत से अलग हुआ है उस पड़ोसी को समझ गए होंगे पाकिस्तान बड़ा बड़ा आतंकवादी हरकतों के माध्यम से भारत को कमजोर करने की भारत को डिस्टेबलाइज करने की वो कोशिश करता रहा था लेकिन बहनों भाइयों वो कर नहीं पाए अब उसको हम लोगों ने संदेश दे दिया है कि यदि ज्यादा गड़बड़ करोगे तो हम सीमा पर ही नहीं सीमा के पार जाकर हम सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक भी कर सकते हैं जरूरत पड़ी तो एयर स्ट्राइक भी कर सकते हैं यह संदेश हम लोगों ने दे दिया है
Defence Minister said that there are 4 dhams in Uttarakhand, and if Sanya Dham is made, we'll have a 5th dham in Uttarakhand. This dham will have soil from the martyrs' homes. He added that the names of martyrs and their villages should be written at the Sanya Dham.
देवभूमि भी है तपोभूमि भी है वीर भूमि भी है और मुझे बताया गया है कि यहां पर अब सैन्य धाम बने मैं जानता हूं कि यहां पर 4 धाम हैं गंगोत्री धाम यमुनोत्री धाम केदार धाम और बद्री धाम और यदि उत्तराखंड सरकार यहां पर 4था धाम सैन्य धाम बना देती है तो मैं समझता हूं कि यह 5वां धाम होगा इस उत्तराखंड की धरती पर बहनों भाइयों
Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan addressed the Northeast Education Conclave in Guwahati. The minister said that the NEP has given a lot of pathways and is a document for the transformative way in front of us.
NEP is the instrument. NEP is the document for the transformative way in front of us. This NEP has given lot of pathways. We have to give focus on primary education. The challenge is how to give equal economic opportunity to all sections of society. This is the first precondition of democracy and the first precondition of civilized society.
The minister also added that by next decade, the government is bound to implement a new approach to language.
Diversity of our language is the major unifying factor of our civilization. Our AICT, when NEP has amplified the possibility of language, giving importance to mother tongue, Matru-bhasha and local language, Staniya Bhasha, by next decade, we are bound to implement the new approach on language, whatever challenges may come. And I see Assam will be the laboratory of language-based knowledge imparting, knowledge education in this country.
A large number of visitors are reaching India International Trade Fair this year. The number of spectators at the fair has brought a smile to the face of business class. Exhibitors from Bahrain are also very excited about the fair. Azamgarh sari worth 1.5 lakh rupees and 15 types of honey are catching attraction at the IITF 2021.
The 40th India International Trade Fair opened for general public yesterday at Pragati Maidan in Delhi. IITF, which is back after a gap of a year at the revamped exhibition halls, is being held amidst strict COVID-19 protocols, including mandatory wearing of masks, social distancing and sanitizer machines at various points in place. Large number of people thronged the trade fair while bringing much needed relief for around 3,000 exhibitors from 20 states, 3 union territories and 9 countries. Exhibitors believe that the International Trade Fair is a platform that directly connects the product to the customer.
काफ़ी भीड़ आई है और बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस मिला है और फीडबैक भी अच्छा दिया है कि जैसे 5 सालों से कस्टमर यूज़ कर रहे हैं प्रोडक्ट तो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा हम लोगों को फीडबैक दिया है। कोविड-19 की वजह से जो 2 साल रहा है वो बहुत टफ रहा है तो ये बिल्कुल इंतजार था। जैसे ही हमने सुना कि वो ओपन हो रहा है तो हमने उनको एनरोल कराया और आगे भी हम आते रहेंगे। एक कस्टमर का डायरेक्ट फीडबैक मिलता है एक कंपनी को, इससे अच्छा कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता।
Exhibitors from abroad including Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bahrain, Kyrgyzstan, Tunisia and Turkey are quite enthralled to be back after a gap of a year. They say that IITF offers an ideal platform to showcase their unique products and build good business relations.
व्यापारी वर्ग के लिए ये मंच जो है बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि इसमें हर शुरू के दिनों में हाई फाई लोग आते हैं और जो मिडिल में उसमें नॉर्मल लोग आते हैं तो हर तरह के और हम लोगों ने जो परफ्यूम रखा हुआ है वो हर तरह का है यानी सस्ता भी है महंगा भी है। हम लोग की प्लानिंग भी है इंशाल्लाह यहाँ पे शोरूम वगैरह खोलने की या अगर कोई डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर मिल जाता है तो उसके साथ इंशाल्लाह करेंगे, ऑनलाइन करेंगे।
15 different varieties of honey are a center of attraction at the trade fair this time. Stalls with plum, lychee and tulsi flavored honey are being liked much here.
जो नेचर की चीज़ें हैं, जो डिफरेंट वेराइटीज़ ऑफ हनी है, हर सीज़न के एतबार से बीज क्या करती है कि अलग अलग फूलों से नेक्टर कलेक्ट करती है। तो जैसे सरसों का सीज़न होता है तो सरसों के फूल से लाती है रस, तो वो सरसों का शहद है। इस तरह से लीची का होता है, तुलसी का होता है, जामुन का होता है, तो इसके अलग अलग फ़ायदे हैं। तो वो चीज़ हम लोगों को प्रोवाइड करते हैं उनके हेल्थ के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से।
Traders from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh have displayed saris ranging from mere 190 rupees to a whopping 1.5 lakh rupees at the fair too.
हमारे पास जो A to Z साड़ियाँ बनती हैं, इससे 195 से स्टार्ट हो जाती हैं और हम लोग बनाते हैं करीब 1.5 2 लाख रुपए तक की साड़ियाँ। हमारी साड़ियों की खासियत ये है कि हमारा जो बहुत पुराना काम है, ये मतलब आप देखें तो 1600 ईस्वी से तो हमारा मतलब हिस्ट्री मिलती है। हम लोग हैंडलूम पे काम करते आ रहे हैं। अभी जो बॉलीवुड में जो न्यू कमर्स है, अभी जो शादी हो रही है, वो सब बनारसी साड़ी को ही ज़्यादा प्रीफर्ड कर रहे हैं। और अनुष्का शर्मा जी हो चाहे ऐश्वर्या राय जी, उन्होंने भी हमसे साड़ी बनवा चुकी है हमारे वहाँ से। और शबाना आजमी जी जो कि हमारे आजमगढ़ के ही हैं, तो जो डिज़ाइनर है बॉलीवुड में मनीष मल्होत्रा, उनके माध्यम से हम लोग का काफ़ी बॉलीवुड में अच्छा खासा टचअप है, काफ़ी माल जाता है हमारा।
The trade fair will conclude on 27th November. The theme of this year is Atmanirbhar Bharat. With Bureau Inputs, Girish Nishana's report for DD India.
The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has approved another $150 million loan to the Government of India for implementation of the Sustainable Urban Services Program for the Chennai metropolitan area. AIB Vice President Dr. DJ Pandyan, while speaking to Prasar Bharati, exclusively said that India is the largest beneficiary of AIB and the bank has so far approved 29 projects for India worth $6.8 billion. He told that another 27 projects worth $5 billion are in pipeline for India, including the Haryana Orbital Railway project, which will be a circular railway to the national capital Delhi, a multi-corridor transport project in Mumbai and the digital education project in Gujarat. He further informed that AIIB will soon approve a $500 million project for COVID-19 vaccination in India.
We have approved 29 projects amounting to $6.8 billion. India is the largest beneficiary out of AIB. India is the second largest shareholder, and so we work very closely with Government of India. According to their infrastructure requirements, we finance number of projects. Mostly We have a lot of projects in the metro, in the urban transport. We have one more metro to be approved in Chennai. We have one metro project to be approved in Mumbai.
Dr. Pandyan hailed the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi for India's infrastructure push.
Under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Government of India has come out with a big pipeline amounting to more than 2 trillion. And whatever AIB can do in support of this pipeline, in strengthening the infrastructure in India, we will do our best. AIB is committed to that. So we will work with the Government of India very closely and to spread this infrastructure development across the country.
The Chennai Metropolitan Area project will cover the core urban services including water resource management, water supply and sewerage, urban mobility, solid waste management and public health. It looks at operationalizing the CUMTA to coordinate different modes of transport. He said we are working on 2 metro lines and the connectivity with the local train system, airport, bus stations, private transport like autos, etc. is to be done in a holistic manner. The total project cost is $701 million, out of which AIIB and the World Bank each will provide $150 million each. The rest of the cost will be borne by the government of Tamil Nadu. The AIIB in September approved $356.67 million of loan for construction of new corridor in Chennai's metro network as part of the Chennai Metro Rail Phase 2. And in a short while from now, the 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India is going to be kicked off in Goa. Considering the present COVID-19 situation, and the 52nd IFFI will be held in a hybrid format. The opening ceremony will be held in the Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Indoor Stadium. The 52nd edition has a mega lineup of star-studded movies and extravaganza. Take a look at this report.
The 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India kickstarts in Goa today. The 9-day festival will continue till the 28th of November. For the first time ever, films from 5 BRICS nations will be showcased through the BRICS Film Festival alongside IFFI. Talking about veteran actress and MP Hema Malini and renowned lyricist Prasoon Joshi being honoured with the IFFI Personality of the Year award, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said that they are Indian cinematic icons who are admired and respected the world over.
52nd IFFI अपने आप में बहुत कुछ नया लेकर आया है और कोविड-19 पैंडेमिक के चलते जो चुनौतियां थी उसके रहते हुए भी सब प्रयास किए गए ताकि देश और दुनिया की बड़ी-बड़ी फिल्म्स को भी यहाँ पर लाया जाए, OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स को भी लाया जाए और यहाँ तक कि इस बार के इंडियन फिल्म पर्सनालिटी ऑफ द ईयर हेमा मालिनी जी और प्रसून जोशी जी ये दोनों भी यहाँ पर आएंगे और इसके अलावा जो सत्यजीत रे इंटरनेशनल फिल्म पर्सनालिटी है उसको कहें कि लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट अवार्ड की जब हम बात करते हैं तो अमेरिकन फिल्म मेकर मार्टिन स्कॉर्सेसी को और जो हमारे हंगेरियन फिल्म मेकर हैं स्टीवान सुजाबो को इनको भी लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट अवार्ड मिला है और दोनों ने उसको मंजूरी भी दी अपनी ओर से उसको ग्रहण करने के लिए। ये अपने आप में हमारे लिए बड़ी बात है।
For the first time, OTT platforms will showcase the popular series in this year's IFFI. The 75 Creative Minds of Tomorrow initiative has also been taken, wherein the chosen filmmakers will get a chance to attend all the master classes with the travel and accommodation cost being borne by the government.
आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव बनाते हुए 75 यंग क्रिएटिव माइंड्स ऑफ टुमारो देश भर के छोटे छोटे गांव से शहरों से भी लोगों को पिक करके यहाँ पर बुलाया गया है उनको एक्सपोजर एक्सपीरियंस देने के लिए, मास्टर क्लास अटेंड करने के लिए, नेटवर्किंग करने के लिए, ताकि भविष्य के बड़े बड़े ऐसे नाम जो कैमरा के पीछे हों या फिल्मी पर्दे पर हों उनको भी यहाँ पर आने का अवसर मिल रहा है।
While COVID-19 restrictions will still be in place to a certain extent, the 52nd edition of IFFI promises to be a tremendous and gala affair. IFFI this year is being organized under the broad theme of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The festival will showcase around 300 films from across India and the world in many genres, as also masterclasses and in-conversation sessions with some of the best minds in filmdom. With inputs from Rukma Datta in Goa, Bureau Report, DD India.
In the United States, the Food and Drug Administration of the FDA has extended the authorization of Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccine booster doses for all adults aged 18 and older. Earlier, booster shots were allowed for people aged over 65 or for those at high risk of severe disease. The FDA Acting Commissioner Janet Woodcock said that the decision will help to provide continued protection against COVID-19, including the serious consequences that can occur, such as hospitalization and death. The FDA has also said that the decision was taken based on data demonstrating a strong immune response to boosters from hundreds of people. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, has ratified the decision while recommending boosters for all people over 50. The COVID-19 cases are on a surge in the United States, with around 88,000 new infections being reported per day on average as the country enters its fifth wave. America is officially the hardest hit nation, with the pandemic claiming over 760,000 lives. Days after Australia imposed a lockdown on the unvaccinated, it has announced a full national COVID-19 lockdown starting on Monday. The measures are yet to be finalized. Chancellor Alexander Schallenberg said that it would last a maximum of 20 days and there would be a legal requirement to get vaccinated till February 1st, 2022. The lockdown rules, however, will be reassessed after 10 days. He was responding to record rise in numbers and one of the lowest vaccination levels in Western Europe. Many other European countries are imposing restrictions as cases rise. A record 15,809 cases were reported in the past 24 hours in Austria, in a population of under 9 million. Neighboring Germany has seen several days of record infections this week. And that's it then in this newscast. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.